Big girl energy right there. High five to me. Hey, I'm Angelisa, and I get so stoked when I learn something new. I am about to expose my secret weapon when it comes to doing a J-hook on my snowmobile, so make sure to watch the full video to learn more on some tips and tricks that help me get my sled on edge being a shorter rider. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I do a J-hook when it comes to riding on my snowmobile. This is something that I have taught myself and something that I have developed and kind of mastered over time. I have always been taught to dangle the foot and to get my sled on its side, having the wrong foot forward on the running board. Sure, this works when you are in trickier situations, but it doesn't work all the time, or perhaps maybe it just doesn't work for me most of the time. Now, in reference, I am short. I don't have a whole lot of leverage. I don't have a whole lot of pull when it comes to getting my sled on its side. And so something that I have learned from the Skidoo to the Polaris is that I actually don't need to do the dangle of the foot. I can actually straddle my seat and I can get my sled on its side with enough power, momentum, and throttle, and the brake. I am sure there are other videos that are going to explain the technique that I'm showing you, but this is a technique that, again, I taught myself just by getting enough seat time in. This didn't happen overnight. It just took a lot of practice. One thing that I'm going to tell you is to take clinics. And take clinics from other people, because this way you're going to take little bits of information, bits of tips and tricks from everyone else, and you're going to apply all those skill sets, and you're going to adapt your own skill sets when it comes to sledding. So it's important to take the education, learn these skills, but what's most important is for you to get outside and to practice those skills that others have taught you. And again, the more seat time you put in, the more time you put in getting these skills down, the more you're going to learn what works for you. So we're going to ride in my backyard. I am going to show you my technique when it comes to doing a J-hook or a sharp U-turn. Probably not the best conditions. It is spring. I have a bunch of tracks in my yard. In fact, I have an enduro park. So I have tires and logs and stuff that I might be rolling over. These techniques are better learnt in the mountains, but if you do have a wide open space, this helps too. It's better to have more snow, then that way it's just easier to get that sled on its side and to get the momentum, give it more power to follow through with your turn. I want to thank today's sponsor, which is Polaris. I am a Polaris ambassador for this season, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here with you to show you on how I do a U-turn on my snowmobile. One thing I want to point out is on my running boards, I have these hooks for my feet. There's going to be a lot of talk about these, but these are something that I really heavily rely on when it comes to turning, counter steering, side hilling, you name it, when I want to get my sled, initiate that turn, and get it on its side or on its one ski. Now, these hooks are here, right underneath my feet. So what I do is I actually will slide my foot in there, and I hook my toes up. Depending on what side I'm turning, but I hook my toes in there and I actually lean and I pull with my foot, but it also helps with my balance when I am getting that sled on its side. I can counteract that balance, and a lot of that power comes from my legs, not so much my hands or my shoulders or my arms. It comes from my legs, and that's where most of my power comes from, is from the thighs, from the booty, because I don't have arm strength. I don't have upper strength. I just don't. Doesn't matter how much I work out, doesn't matter how much I lift. Yeah, sure, I'll get stronger, and sure, I'll get there with endurance, but to toss around a 500-pound machine it's just a no bueno. It just doesn't work for me. What works is using my legs, using my glutes, using my hamstrings, using my calf strength, toe strength, all of that. So when I put my toes in, I'm able to pull that sled, pull that knee, pull the toes, everything towards me. All of that strength helps when I'm pulling the hooks towards my body. Hope that makes sense. We're gonna do a demo and you'll see what I mean. Last time I did this, last time I practiced on getting my sled, my snowmobile on its side, I tipped over and I had no one to help me. So let's just hope that I don't do that today. Okay, so first things first, gonna get onto the sled, put my gloves on, and we're gonna find an area where we can do the J-hook. One of them is the neutral stance where I'm straddling over the seat. I have both of my feet on the running boards. This is where I do my counter steering and I use the one foot to lift using the toe holds to get my sled on edge. Now, depending on which side you are going on, you want to lift using your toes, using your legs, and you do want to push down a little bit on the opposite of the handlebar. So for instance, if we are wanting to do a J-hook, a sharp U-turn going to the right, to put our handlebars and our skis pointing to the left. Put all of our body weight onto the right, the direction we want to go. We want to turn our head and look where we want to go. Give the throttle and the brake, and we put our body weight into the right. We are lifting with our left foot where the toes are. We're lifting that if you have the toe holds. So in this image, this is a great shot of me straddling in neutral position. I have momentum going. I got my ski on edge, and you can see my toes on the right side. So I'm turning to the left. I'm doing my J-hook to the left. I have my right set of toes lifting. So I am balancing, and then that way I'm not losing my balance and I'm flopping over onto the left side. So it's almost like I'm holding myself there with my foot, and that way I am able to ride on edge with this stance. And when I can perfect it, I can go as slow as I can using the throttle and the brake. But I just thought this was a great image to show you how my foot looks when I am going on edge. See right there? Because I knew I was going to fall, I gave it more of a breath to get it back up. That is something you want to do when you are learning how to do these things, so you don't tip your sled over. Again, something I started learning when I've been practicing this in my backyard, and I physically can't pull or pick up my sled. So if you feel yourself going too far over, give it a last breath and let it go. Your sled will go back onto its two skis. As you can see, or hopefully you can see from the demonstration that I just did, one, the snow isn't the best. You do need a little bit more fluffier snow, and having old tracks, old snow, it makes it very difficult to do the J-hook. I lifted that side of the sled towards the body, and I slowed down my throttle, and I was able to hold it. Now, I was using a bit of arm strength because I was fighting it a little bit because, again, of the snow. So yeah, you are going to use a little bit of your arm or your upper body strength, but really what comes down to it for me is my legs and hooking my toes under these hooks, which really help to initiate that turn. So that you can see, hopefully I can zoom in on some parts, but really I just want to emphasize that the best way for you to do J-hooks, do sharp U-turns, is just by practicing and tip your sled. Tip your sled and somebody will come and help you. And that's the only way that you're going to learn, is just by practice. And again, I did this so much, well, clearly I do it a lot in my backyard. Sometimes I have to leave my sled taped over until my husband comes home to help me lift it back up. But it just goes to show that repetition helps, and then you can apply all the things that you have learned from everyone else, and then start to adapt and create your own skill set that works for you. And that's something I really want to highlight here, is that you can learn from the gurus. You can learn all of these skills from so many people out there, but it's really up to you to understand, to know your body and know your strength. Then you can start to adapt the skills and create something your own and your own unique style. And again, this is something that works for me. Might not work for every case scenario, but I feel so much more confident when I'm straddling my seat and I have my feet hooked in when I need it to get my sled over. All right, let's recap. 1, counter steer and look where you want to go. 2, throttle, brake, and body weight is what will perfect your pop-up and get your sled on edge. 3, toe holds or toe hooks. This is my secret weapon. This is something that I swear by for me and has helped me with my balance and getting my sled on its side. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but if you have a chance to try somebody that has the toe holds or these toe hooks, I highly recommend just giving it a shot and demonstrating and seeing if it's something that might help you in the long run. Because what I'm all about is sharing tips and tricks that help with sledding and dirt biking, especially when it can become a big struggle for some of us. All right, you guys, I hope you found this video of value. I hope you learned something new. Maybe this is something that you guys use all the time, the toe holds. It's just something that I was never told about, something that I was never taught about, and definitely something that I wasn't aware of until I got my own Polaris and just riding one day and figuring it out and lifting my toes, and I thought, holy crap, this was such a game changer. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. Keep killing it safely out there, and remember to give me a like, subscribe, and comment if you found anything, if you want to add to this conversation. If you have any comments, suggestions, please, please, please comment them below, because it might help somebody else that's, you know, in a bit of a struggle when it comes to doing a J hook. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Until then, bye.